Would you rather have this business or this business? Thought so? Watch this video to discover how to transform your business and earn more profit without doing any extra work. When starting a business, everybody should expect to do lots of work for very little return. But it's reasonable to expect over time that changes and you begin to make more profit. Your hard work will pay off and you'll eventually find that holy grail of work-life balance and a good income. But this doesn't happen by coincidence. This happens when every aspect of your business is being managed effectively. And most small businesses fall into the trap of only managing their sales number. And this means that you have a really teeny tiny view of what's actually going on in your business. And you get stuck in this trap. Your turnover's going up because you're managing it really effectively. And you're working lots of extra hours, but your profit is just not growing at the same rate. And why does this matter? Well, aside from the obvious that you'll very quickly burn out with all of the hours that you're working, you will reach a plateau in your business. If you're not able to pay yourself a sufficient wage, you won't be able to employ anybody else either, which means you'll very quickly reach a ceiling that you won't be able to overcome. But also, if your profit is not keeping up with your turnover, this is because your costs are growing at a higher rate. And this is a number one sign that you're going to have cash flow issues in the very near future. And what's the solution? Well, big businesses invest in finance directors like me, whose job it is to analyse the numbers and point out to the management team what is and isn't working and where their attention needs focusing. And as a small business owner, you need to be doing exactly the same thing. You must know your numbers and be regularly reviewing them, because the numbers will paint a very clear picture for you about what's actually going on in your business. So do these 5 things right away in your business and you'll start to see that profit gap reduce and you'll start making more money for doing exactly the same amount of turnover. So my first tip seems like an obvious one, but so many small businesses fail in this area, and you absolutely must be doing monthly management accounts. Now, you don't need to hire an accountant to do this or spend any extra money. You just need to utilise some of the really good online accounting software packages that are out there, such as Sage, Xero. ClearBooks is one of my favourite. They're so easy to use and they will produce a monthly profit and loss and balance sheet for you, which will enable you to have a look at your numbers and make some decisions. And my second tip, once you've got those management accounts, is to really understand your percentages. Often it's easy to see the value going up. So we see our sales value going from 50 to 60,000 and we think we're doing a really good job. But what we need to be tracking is the percentages. So you need to know, as a percentage of your sales number, how much are your selling costs, how much are your overheads, and how much is your profit. And if you track those 3 as a percentage, then you can make sure that your profit percentage is keeping up with your sales growth. So my third tip is to absolutely always know your break-even point. Whether you're starting out in business or several years in, you always need to know in the back of your mind what your overhead costs are that you need to cover before you make any profit. And ideally, you should never be offering any discount or doing friends and family any favours until you have hit that break-even number, because you're just losing money. And my top tip for really successful businesses is ideally your break-even point should be met with recurring revenue, not where you have to go and find new customers every single month from scratch. So my fourth tip is to know your hourly rate. There's nothing like a cold hard dose of reality to motivate you to do something about this profit gap and increase your profits. So to calculate that, you need to know how much you would earn as an employee working for another company in, say, a 40-hour week job. Then you need to add some on to that for the risk of running your own business. You don't know when you're going to get paid, but also the hassle of running your business. You're never turning off, you don't really get holidays, you don't get sick pay, all of these things that fall on business owners. So for me, personally, I would double that number. But for you, that might be multiplying it by 1.5 or maybe 1.2. So work out what your hourly rate would be for working a 40-hour week as an employee. Then I want you to work out how much you actually get paid from running your small business and divide that by the number of hours that you actually work. More often than not, the gap is much bigger than anybody ever realises. So track these two. You want to make sure that owning your small business with all of the risks and hassle that go with it is putting more money in your pocket than you could earn as an employee. So my final tip is to know the cost to serve your customers. You need to add up all of your selling and marketing costs. So marketing, perhaps you've got website costs, delivery costs, packaging costs, anything like that, add them together. And that is your total costs for acquiring your customers and serving your customers. Then divide that number by the amount of customers that you have. And that is your average cost to serve per customer. So next time you're quoting a customer, if the gross margin that you're going to make on that sale and the customer doesn't have potential to do more business in the future, then you're going to make a loss. Don't work with that customer, only work with profitable customers. They will be a drain on your time and distract you from your business. And more importantly, take money out of your pocket. So knowing your numbers is critical for running any small business. Without these numbers, you can't make effective decisions on how much to charge your customers and which customers you want to do business with. Many small businesses make the mistake of just working with any customer. They're so focused on increasing their turnover that they're not focusing enough on profit. But by following these simple steps, you're guaranteed to grow your profits and grow your business.